So I competed at Texas Teen USA when I was 17. My mom was like, at 16, she was like, you can compete if you want to. So I competed for Miss Houston. I had a month to prepare, and you're going to notice this kind of trend of what I do when I compete. I sign up very last minute. I decide to compete very last minute. So I had no idea what I was doing. I was like 17 when I was like really into it. The first pageant I did, I got second runner up, which is technically like third place. And
why do they call it that?
I don't know.
Makes you feel better? Like first runner up? Why don't they just say second place?
I don't know. It's just because like if something happens to the girl, or she loses her title, or if she wins the next title going forward, technically the runner up is the person that will like assume her title. In case
one of the moms like breaks the legs of the first place winner.
Pageant moms are crazy. I'm like, I could tell you some stories.
I've seen the shows.
They're insane. So yeah, if something like that happens.
So if you get first place, they're like, do not walk down any stairs unless you're with me. Do not walk down any alleyways because somebody's going to.
Somebody's coming for you at all times.
Just going to cut your face just enough to make you.
Technically. Crazy.
Okay, so you started your journey in Miss Texas. Now, kind of explain in a short format, like what is Miss Texas? How do you get there? And why do people want to be Miss Texas? Which obviously there's Miss every state.
There's all 50 states, including DC. So there's 51 titles.
Okay.
But so Miss Texas, it is the most prestigious title that you could have. I can tell you that you can win any other state, and it's probably Texas will be the hardest state to win because it's just there's so many girls and they're all beautiful. There's so much competition. There's also we are the like number one in how many wins. We have 9 girls. I have one Miss USA, and we have one girl that's won Miss Universe, and that's the most out of all states titles that have won is Texas. But being Miss Texas, obviously if I want to be Miss Universe, I have to compete for Miss Texas and then go on to Miss USA, win Miss USA, and then hopefully if you win that title, you assume that position, you go on to compete for Miss Universe. So it's all kind of like a stepping stone to where you want to go. But growing up, watching the pageants, you learn a lot about these women, and they're not just beautiful women that walk across a stage in a gown and swimsuit. They have an interview portion where they have to talk to judges for 2 minutes at a time with 2 different panels, and they fire questions like at you about yourself, politics, anything going on in the world. And you find that these girls aren't just beautiful. They are intelligent. They have careers. They have stories. They have backgrounds. We also have platforms that we work with that we care about. So with me, my platform was domestic violence and sexual assault awareness, but I worked with many other organizations amongst that because philanthropy is kind of my pride. It's like what I love the most. It gives me fire and fuel. And we've talked about that before a little bit, but it's kind of what fuels me. And that's what these girls do. Like we have so much more than just being beautiful. And I loved that. But pageants in itself is just a mental competition.
Yeah.
And so I loved it.
And so you said that Texas has the most amount of competitors.
Wins. Yes.
And wins. How many, or so they don't have the most amount of competitors?
Oh no, we do.
You do. So how many other girls did you compete against from
my year?
Day one.
The most I've ever competed against was like 132.
Is that for Miss Texas?
For Miss Texas.
So there's 132
girls competing against me.
What? And you won?
And I won.
You deserve it.
Thank you. I mean, I had a month to prepare when I won Miss Texas. Okay. I signed up literally last minute.
And you talked about the process of modeling of pageant stuff because a lot of, I think pageants and maybe just modeling in general probably has a bad stigma of you win because you're pretty. You win, because of your looks.
Yes.
And what do you kind of say to that to people who think that's the only thing?
I definitely am not the prettiest girl that's competed at Miss Texas. Like
liar.
No, I swear. But like I could literally look at anybody that competes at Miss Texas or Miss USA or Miss Universe, and they're I have to say like some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. But it's so much more than that because a pretty face only gets you so far. You have to be able to hold conversations with people older than you, people younger than you, people your age, people that are from other cultures. You have to understand like how to handle yourself in certain situations and scenarios. You're now a diplomat basically for your state, and then beyond that, just the country as well, because people look to you to share your opinion, share your voice and your message and what you believe in. And it's just a lot more than what it is.
Why do you think you won?
So we call this thing the halo. And it's just this
Beyonce sings about it.
Yeah, she does. Okay. But it's just this glow that you have when you're on stage. And you can watch all my videos when I won. It's just I had this kind of glow about me. And I think it's because I signed up last minute. And when I signed up, I just wanted to go out there. I had just broken my back like months before that. And I wasn't even supposed to be competing. But I did. And I just was relaxed. I was calm. I was the most calm I've ever been. And I didn't care about anybody else beside me. Like, I did not worry about the girls I was competing with. I didn't worry about, well, she has a great job. She's like a NASA scientist. Like, I didn't care. I just wanted to be there and do my best. And I had fun. But I also, when I go in an interview, I always say, I was like, I don't want it to be like an interview. I want to have a conversation with somebody. I want to like connect with the people I'm speaking to. Plus, I'm a very big goofball when you really get to know me. And so when you see that that personality come out, but I can also be serious, I think it shows that I'm pretty much prepared to move forward as Miss USA. And when we compete, my director, she would always tell the judges, she's like, I want you to find me a Miss Universe. And if you can't find me a Miss Universe, you need to find me a Miss USA. And if you can't find me a Miss USA, then find me the best Miss Texas that you can find. And if you can't find that, then I'm doing something wrong. But that was the thing. Like, when I won, they were like, you're ready for Miss Universe. Like, you can go. I've been told that for years. That was like my mental state, was like, you're Miss Universe ready. Just go, go, go. So I think it's like perfect timing. I was calm. I was ready. I was set. I was mentally there. It was the strongest I've ever been mentally. And I was just at peace.
Yeah, maybe I guess everyone else was, I guess, so anxious to win. And everyone wants to win.
Yeah.
But maybe you had a more relaxed approach to it, and that kind of shined through to the judges of like, you just were very natural in what you're doing.
Yeah, it just comes very natural to me. It's like my second home at this place.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Now, I know when they announce the winner,
yes,
they're holding hands with the other girl,
yes.
right? And then they announce the I guess the loser, the second first runner up, right? First.
Yes.
So then that triggers to make first place know who won. At that moment, did you think you won?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah. I loved my first runner up, but I just had this feeling. So I'm a big numbers person and I'm very superstitious. So it was my third year competing for Miss Texas. I was called the third person for top 15. And then I was called third again for top 5. So it's 333. That's like a lucky angel number. So it means you're on the right path. And so I was like, it's perfect timing. Do I wish I would have won later? Like, if I would have waited a couple of years to compete? Yes, absolutely. But I think it was my time. I think I was meant to be the COVID queen. I was Miss Texas for 2 years, that's never happened. I'm the longest title holder in all of history of the world, which is crazy.
Nice.
I'm in the history books, but it was meant to happen when it happened.
Well, I like it. I like the confidence. I think everyone should be confident when they're doing a competition, right? So after you win, like, you're supposed to get the title for a year. Obviously, with COVID, that extended it, right? So what do you win? Like, what happens after you win?
So you get a lot. You're basically just kind of thrusted into this position of going to different events. So I had a lot of media, a lot of news preparation. I went on tons of interviews for television. But you're ultimately getting prepared for Miss USA, which is like the next step in like what you're doing. And so getting ready for Miss USA, it just kept getting pushed off. So I was the first girl that won the title that year. So I was waiting. So I had to wait a whole another 6 months for the other girls to win. And then COVID happened.
Right.
And they were like, we don't know if we're going to have Miss USA this year. We don't know what's going to happen. So they just kept pushing it off. And you're just going to events. I worked with my philanthropy, so I went and spoke to college students and high school students about dating violence and talking to them about like consent and sexual violence. And my thing was called Coffee Talk. So it was like having a conversation about sex should be as easy as ordering coffee. It's very weird. We'll have to get into it another time. But it was just kind of snowballed off of that. But I also was just a representative of Texas. So anything that I could do with the government or anything I could do with certain organizations that I worked with, I just had to go to events and just be Texas.
So it just opens up a lot of doors for you as a public figure.
Yes.
Do you win any money?
No.
You don't win any money. How much we
don't get paid.
You have to spend a lot of money.
Oh.
How much does it cost to ballpark from like, I want to enter this Miss Texas all the way up to like, I'm at the top.
You can do it in a way that you don't spend a lot of money.
How much did you spend?
Total?
Yeah. God. Tell the people.
The year I won Miss Texas?
No, I'm talking about like I'm entering Miss Texas.
I've probably spent over $100,000.
From entering Miss Texas to I won?
From the first time I ever competed.
No, I'm talking about Miss Texas.
Oh, from when I won Miss, the year I won.
We're only in Miss Texas right now.
Because I signed up a month before Miss Texas, like because I wasn't supposed to be competing.
Right.
I didn't spend as much as normal people do.
Right. No,
but I would say for me, it was about $30,000.
$30,000 to compete, and then you win.
It doesn't have to
nothing.
It doesn't have to be like that, but you get a lot of sponsors. I got a lot of things throughout the years, which was great. But in terms of competing, like my gown was $10,000.
What?
And you wear it for 10 minutes. It's my pride and joy. I love my yellow gown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So quite expensive. You don't win any money, but you win a lot of exposure, which turns into money, right?
Yes.
And so after the Miss Texas, you went on. Did you try to compete?
I competed for Miss USA.
And did not win.
I did not win, which I think it's God's plan, God's timing, which is great. But it's very political, and they have a type that they want to win each year, whether it be her story, her background, what her platform is. And I just wasn't meant for me to happen at that time. And I'm very thankful because I kind of opened my doors to modeling even more after that.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have been able to do so if I was Miss USA.
What is going on, guys? I am Maxx Chewning, your host. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. If you want to see the full, magical, lovely episode, just click the link down in the description or search Don't Be Sour on your favorite podcast streaming service. And remember, thank you for tuning in.